Hi, my name is Mr. Schotland, and welcome to Economics and the Needham High School Open House. I start every day the same way, and that is with the warm up activity. And this is one I do to answer the question, what is economics? Well, let's consider this scenario. Let's say you go to a convenience store for a snack. And these days, actually, with your children who get so much off Amazon and it comes delivered, I like to crack a joke and make a drawing of actually getting in the car, going to a convenience store, and that sort of thing. So in this scenario, you have only $1, but the soda you want costs $1, and the chips you want cost $1. So you have $1, and what you want costs $2. What can you do to get what you want? This is the central question in economics. So I'd like you to please pause and think about what could you do to get what you want. You only have $1, and what you want costs $2. What could you do? Please pause and think. I have found over the years that actually the your kids are a lot smarter than you are, and they come up with just terrific things. Okay, so here's what my students have said over the years. They said you could buy only one item, you could get a loan, you could work more and save money. And I kind of say, ooh, yuck, work, save. Those are four-letter words. Yuck. Students have said you could buy on installment. You could look for a cheaper price elsewhere, online or on another store, and shop around. You could look for an alternative, like water, and maybe buy a smaller size, or clip coupons, share with a friend, sell something you have, trade, barter, or exchange something you have, negotiate. I've had students say you could invest and wait for that money to increase. You could buy one item, sell it at a higher price, and then buy the other. Again, your students are very clever. I've had students say, buy a lottery ticket. And each year I have a student who suggests stealing. And then we talk about the costs and benefits of that. We do a cost benefit analysis. There are some of your children who, love Pringles and love Doritos so much, it'd be worth some jail time. We do a cost benefit analysis. And I have had students who've suggested, I could sell my younger brother. So we laugh about that. So, what would you do in that situation in the store? Your choices really depend on how much time you have. Do you have time to work more? How much money you have? And I say that economics is the study of how and why people make choices to get what they want, given their limited means, their limited resources. That's the starting point. We have limited time and we have limited money. So, what are you going to do to get what you want? We discuss managing our money and also managing our time, which is especially important senior year and this busy fall and in college. We have a class routine. I'm a creature of habit. Every day starts the same way. The kids start on a warm up while I take attendance. We don't want to waste time. Time is a precious, limited resource, just like our money. And then we go over to tonight's homework. I explain it and preview it. And I always say, raise your hand if you have a question, raise your hand if you don't understand. And I pause and I give them time. If I always say, if you have a question about tonight's homework, what can you do? You can email me. I'm going to give you a little homework for tonight, and that is to please discuss this class with your child. Ask them, do they like it? Yes or no? Why or why not? Then we talk about today's homework. They turn it in, or I will assess it on a little quiz, and we go over it. Old work, we go over common mistakes. Current events, we talk about what's going on in the economy or in the stock market. And of course, these days we're talking about the presidential election. Then I review last class, and then we talk about new material. I try to wrap things up nice and neatly at the end of class. It usually doesn't happen, but every day starts the same way. I'm a creature of habit, and I think a lot of students benefit from that. As for content, our units, we are wrapping up our introduction about how to think and analyze like an economist. You want to keep in mind 11 economic principles, and we have our first test on Unit 1 at the beginning of next week. And then Unit 2 is famous economists like Adam Smith and Karl Marx, and important economic systems like capitalism and communism and socialism. And we do a cost benefit analysis of each system. We're coming up soon on macroeconomics in the US economy, taxes, who pays taxes, how much, and why. Should taxes be higher or lower? We have a big debate. Income taxes, sales taxes, capital gains taxes, corporate taxes, and I will teach your students how to fill out their W-2, W-4, and 1040. Then we look at what does the government do with our money. We'll look at military spending, Social Security, health care, welfare, debt, and that's a really great unit. And I've moved that up earlier this year to try to coincide with this November presidential election. Then most people's favorite unit is personal finance. I will take your kids from birth to death and teach them how to manage their money and how to manage their time and how can you get rich. And for example, should I invest in Apple stock or Amazon stock? I say the first thing you should do actually is get some exercise, because the best investment is exercise and education. And then we'll talk about Amazon stock versus Apple stock. Unit 5, entrepreneurship. I'll teach your kids how to start a business and how does a business work. We'll learn the basics of sales, marketing, and accounting, and I'll teach them how to read a P&L, an income statement, a cash flow statement, and a balance sheet. Then, time permitting, we'll talk about development economics. Why are some countries rich and others poor? Why is North Korea struggling and South Korea is doing so well? Why is Haiti struggling and the Dominican Republic's doing okay? And what can we do to decrease world poverty? That leads us into the world economy today. We'll talk about how it works. We talk about the costs and benefits of globalization and trade with China and sweatshops. And we'll end with the world economy tomorrow. How can we grow and become rich and at the same time not destroy our environment? The skills, it's how to do an economic analysis, like a cost-benefit analysis. We talk about how the U.S. economy works and the world economy, the stock market. How do you interpret stats? How do you interpret the news media and interpret these politicians? And I also teach students how to deal with certain technologies. If you have any questions, here's my contact information. Teaching for me is not a job, it's a passion. I absolutely love it. Monday mornings my favorite time of the week, partly because I'm married with 3 kids. We have our hands full at home. I went to Amherst College, I went to Harvard and got a master's in Russian studies. I've been teaching for over 15 years and I love to coach football and baseball. I love reading, eating, traveling, football, chess, and spending time with our 3 kids. Please, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out. Thank you very much.